Hello, everyone, to the second Summoner Showdown. Today's match, we have Eldritch Noodles on the Phoenix Elves versus Aaronvw8's Falling Kingdom. I have my wonderful co-anchors, Eantic and Chibata Bread, and we have begun this matchup. We have Rhett Tallis on the first move.
And that is Aaronvw8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
aggressive gaze placements to start. No summons, so I assume no common units in hand, since there is an open spot to attack the Royal Guardian there. What do you guys think about that initial gate placement? Just going A6, C6, F6, and putting all of that forward pressure on the defensive Phoenix Elves.
I think that's really interesting. So obviously FK is looking for an opportunity to assassinate Maldaria because that 9 HP is just too irresistible for all their assassination tools. I do think that they need something near the front, but if they put it too far forward and too exposed, the Maldaria is just going to try to kill it.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the gate at A6 instead of something like A7, because you have that A5 better summoning spot, but you end up overlapping with your summoning spots. Whereas if you went A7, you would have 3 new spots instead of just 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I've debated that, like, you might need that one extra space, but you're trading an extra summoning spot. It's so tricky to decide this at the beginning of the game. Mid game, I'm usually more inclined to do a maneuver like that where I stick it in the corner, even if it's just for one summoning spot. Like late game, I'll just put out, if I have a gate and one unit that I need to summon in a certain spot, I'll just put a gate in a spot where I can only summon one thing guaranteed and I'm fine. But early game, it does need more flexibility. All right, so Phoenix Elves responding with exactly the sort of response that we all expect them to do. The Guardian shove.
And that was what I would have done in that situation too. It looks likely with 2 range dice on the Archer, 5 dice on the Carrier, and 1 guaranteed damage from shove, that Rhett Tallis's board is going to get wiped.
I'm interested about the pushing that Archer so far forward. I mean, that's just carrier food, right?
True, but it might be carrier food regardless. Barely gets the kill with only 1 hit.
And this is in fact the carrier that Archer is going to become. So it's kind of, are you serious?
An unlucky 1 in 9 chance of a whiff there.
That's really not a great
Does get
opening
the call
turn.
protection back.
Yeah, okay, so Archer is going to be safe. But I was saying the Archer, when the carrier was shoved behind, he was staring at his destiny right there, because as that carrier went to the discard pile, now if the Archer is killed by a carrier, there is a carrier in the discard pile for him to become, and it's that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you can reach him, apart from, the usual FK tricks.
Yeah. I was thinking that Moldaria would have saved the call protection, but I see using it there because you can just waltz an Archer with Hellforge on that higher summoning spot.
He didn't want Archer to become a zombie too. I really agree with this is Eldritch Noodles playing Phoenix Elves, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah, and Aaron is playing the FK. Yeah, Aaron's got a great FK. All right, so yeah, I really agree with what Eldritch Noodles is doing right now with Phoenix Elves.
Both players moving very quickly too, not wanting to waste any time on their 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a lethal setup, getting that Archer in on Mal if the Cultist is able to land the 1 for 2.
Yep. That whiff really hurts.
Hellforged weapon comes
Oh.
out.
Oh,
Is
Oh,
that with going? Is
I
that
haven't
with
seen the
going to
whiff yet.
cost Mal like 5 health? That would be really unfortunate. You hate a 1 in 9 chance blowing through half your summoner's health in
oh.
turn 2
4.
and denied magic.
Does the warrior get the
I guess
guardian
you
killed too? No. Okay. Cool.
No, okay.
I guess that's why you want to call protection the guardian, even though all of us missed it, is to avoid situations like that. Because
Yeah.
the guardian would not have gotten killed by the cultists there.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, you have to force FK to show their hand as they're playing for either economy or assassination. Now they're playing for assassination, but it's so early in the game. You don't want to be down to 5 health right now.
I mean, Fallen Kingdom can still win the economy game if they intimidate Maldaria into hiding.
Yes.
Because she's down to 5 health.
Yeah. I don't know. Aldaria is a difficult summoner to force into hiding because she can continually call protection. And as he does have 6 magic. Eldritch Noodles has got to be able to string something together. I don't know. This looks awful for him right now.
It's a bad start. That was an unlucky whiff with the 1 for 9 at the start.
Yeah, I think with many matchups, right, you like, especially in this matchup, you have to play at one point to be like, well, if they have something that terribly punishes me, then I'm going to be terribly punished. But you can't just afford to... The archer callback, if he didn't have something to kill the archer and move in with a Hellforged archer, is really...
Would have been the right play. So it was a risk that was a good chance of paying off, but just Aaron had the response, Aaronvw8. And Aaron used that response to whack Maldaria in the face for 4 damage. And deny magic on the way out with Curse.
Yep.
The Guardian I'd agree with that.
Hellforged Blade is the gift that keeps on. I think people figured out pretty quickly that its second ability is more of a bonus than a hindrance.
Really is. It's a great point.
I mean, I've banked strategies on that ability killing the Hellfire Cultist so an archer could shift in his place.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think the turn 2 kill that Andilivaris pulled off hinged on a self-kill.
Yeah, it did. It did. So yeah, that event is the gift keeps on giving.
There are a lot of...
Guardian completely invalidates the Hellfire Cultist.
There are a lot of unit matchups in PE versus FK that I absolutely hate, but the one that feels so good is Guardian versus Cultist, right?
Yeah.
Push it away.
Exactly. He's literally shoving him away before he explodes. Like, I am the anti-Hellfire Cultist.
It's very convenient, especially because Hellfire Cultist is so strong economically.
Yeah, Hellfire Cultist is ridiculous.
We do see another risk being taken by Eldritch Noodles, leaving that spot open on F5 with a blood summon. That could have been another archer attacking Maldaria. But you got to take those risks, as you said. And that's an unlucky roll, even if it wasn't necessarily a super impactful one. 0 for 3 on the Guardian.
Yeah. Yeah, we've... there are some games where everybody hits their rolls, some games where people get neutral luck. This game right now is shaping up to be the game where people are just spaghetti dice. Spaghetti dice everywhere.
Which is something you have to plan for.
Yeah.
Sometimes both competitors draw 2/7 offsuit. Spirit of the Phoenix to start.
Spirit of the Phoenix turn.
All right. You know it's going to be a good turn when it starts with Spirit of the Phoenix. I hope he could... I mean, he should be able to take advantage of it with more than one unit. I assume he's got Divine Ret if he's only using
That's what I'm
Guardian.
thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, attacks the carrier, shifts the Guardian in, Divine Ret.
Yep.
Allows attacks on the 10 health wall and nothing else. Although, again, allowing a Blood Summon Rush. Well, I guess not, because he just reversed all of it.
Yeah,
it was going to allow a Blood Summon Rush.
He's thinking, what if my Guardian hits that 1 in 6 chance of a whiff? I remember Andy Laveris once in a game with his P versus my PD, had his Guardian up against my wall and kept whiffing his 1 dice. And he said, wow, my Guardian literally can't hit the side of a barn door.
A strong wall.
It happens.
If Moldaria had moved up there, and hadn't placed the gate, an archer could have just walked into her by summoning on 8/5.
Yep. This is a much better play for it. Okay, Moldaria gets the kill. That's so important because, okay, now he's going to attack with the Ember Mage first before the Guardian so that he can guarantee it. That's so good. That is so good. He needed that. He really needed that from Moldaria. All right, this is guaranteed, obviously. Unfortunately, he does not get the Divine Ret on. Oh, wait, yeah. He calls Guardian. Right.
And then great Divine Retribution.
Yep, excellent. This is a very well protected Moldaria. He would have to blood summon twice off the archer and get an archer on there just to hit.
Well, he could summon on F5 and then blood summon
still
once.
Blood summon, yeah. Of course, that has the same effect, except it kills 1 less archer. Look at me saying that like it's a good thing for FK.
And if they fire with the archers here, it's going to... I'm surprised they're not targeting the gates because of that Spirit of the Phoenix Divine Retribution.
Yeah, maybe he felt like he couldn't put enough damage on the 5 health gate, and the 8 health gate didn't think was worth it, but I thought FK was pretty good at gate crashing.
Yeah. I mean, Ember Mage is going to do 2 damage back to the archers if the archers swing here. And yeah.
Oh, he's rethinking everything. Yep.
Smart.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, using Divine Ret.
Incoming Bloodbath. Yeah, that's so smart. So what was I just saying? Kills 1 less archer. You gotta kill all your own units, man.
And with the attacks, assuming none of them whiff, that would be 3 dead units for Sacrificial Pyre. Is it Pyre or Pyre?
I think it's
Pyre. Yeah.
Pyre?
And Sacrificial Pyre. And not only that, but that was close. Not only that, but this is so good. Magic Denial. Look at the board.
The magic did come in to Moldaria because it was Divine Retribution that got the kill.
Oh, yep.
Otherwise, it would have been a glorious turn, I agree.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. Well, it's at least denying Moldaria of any good targets.
True.
I mean, she'd have to really expose herself, like expose an archer too much just to hit the carrier. You have to attack the gates. Yeah, so this is like no good turn for Eldritch Noodles right now.
And the Guardian attacks the gate with what?
I mean, I don't know if he so his hand. I have it on the stream. I don't know how to share it with you guys quite yet, but I have
I'll just look on the stream.
On the stream. So he has no ranged units in hand right now. I was gonna say he could have a great line where he's just like, all right, I'm gonna leave this side of the battlefield. If you want to live in that corner, that's great. Because of this wide gate placement, but he only has melee in hand. It's gonna be difficult.
That's really, really unlucky. How do you only have melee in hand as Moldaria? Half your units are melee. I get that. He has 9 magic.
Okay, I need to update.
We could see Fire Drake.
I definitely think part of.
I can't see any cards in his hand.
Yeah, Phoenix Elves have built a massive magic advantage. 5 extra cards in the deck, 6 extra cards in the magic pile.
It's pretty crazy.
Retalis will get to 11 health though. Yeah. And then just retreat with Moldaria, hide under the.
That's a total magic. That's a total magic advantage of 11. Plus the Guardian is worth more than the carrier by 1. although there's one extra gate. So the field is about even, but it's an 11 magic lead from the off-field economy. That's crazy.
We are going to get back a full health Ret Talus, or at least full enough in terms of Raise the Dead.
Yeah, that's 5 Raise the Dead summons.
I don't think he should throw away his Guardian. I almost think he should just let Maldaria take the damage, as horrible as it sounds.
Really?
Oh, he's moving Maldaria up. No, he's ahead economically.
Whoa.
The only way he can lose this right now is if Maldaria is assassinated.
That is a
This is giving
interesting
Aaron
move.
exactly what Aaron wants.
Okay. And then he's going to play a gate
Are
to
you-
get the
you're
full
playing a gate?
encompass.
Okay.
Yep, he's playing gate and then he's playing flare.
Oh, gotcha. Basically
He has
saying,
the
you want to
magic.
play, you want to stall out? I'll stall out. You want to make this game go slowly, or at least slowly on the turn?
There it
They're going
is.
very
There's the
quickly on
flare. Yep.
turns.
Yeah,
On the
absolutely no
time.
way he goes up there without flare.
Agreed.
Both of them just ready to play a 45-minute game. Round of applause to our players in that.
For sure.
Aaron's got to be thinking, how am I going to assassinate this? Because you're right, I don't think he's got a shot for economy right now. 11 is a bit of a lead.
And that just, I think, comes down to who they are as Phoenix Elves and Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Without a carrier spam, the Phoenix Elves just have better economy.
I'm really enjoying watching Aaron's Ret Talus. Personally, I'm like an aggro Ret. I at least need to get them like off the first row, you know? I'm just like, I want those summon options, but like the like steal and reserve to be like, nah, it's fine. I'm just gonna spawn archers. You're gonna have to come to me. It's not gonna be pleasant.
That's my ret. Every FK game, I'm living on the back row summoning archers, and they're teleporting up. That's my idea is that Ret Talus is the one summoner that does not need to be on the front lines. And I also treat him like a 1 health summoner. Because he is.
Like a 1 health. I do love that. That's really nice.
All he is bones.
Yeah. He's undead.
I'd say skin and bones, but I don't even see any skin.
It's true. His bone. All right. So, given the misery of Ret Talus being an undead torment, and the misery of Koldak being possessed by mushroom spores, which would you prefer? If you had to choose, would you rather be Koldak or Ret Talus?
Wait, can you re-say that? I'm sorry.
Who would we rather be, or who would we rather be employed by?
Yeah, right. That's another good question. Okay. Let's start with the employed by question, because that one's even more interesting. Okay, given what you've seen of Koldak, right? Koldak possesses you with his spores. He can literally make your brain explode and do whatever he wants when he demands you resolve an extra attack. If you saw the illustration for demand. And it looks like their culture combines blood and spores together and has very little culture, art, or anything like that. Would you rather be employed by Koldak, or on the other hand, Ret Talus? Literally, the only humans in his army have bombs strapped to them, and that'll be you. Your entire existence in his army will be waiting to join the ranks of his undead. Waiting for an opportunity to blow yourself up so that you can become an undead, eternally tormented, undead, mindless slave. So which one are you going for?
Well, neither's great.
Really?
I'd prefer like Sarah, maybe Abwa. Let me hang out with some cats, please.
No, I'm going with the cloaks. Cloaks all day. They got gadgets.
We
True.
have to realize
I want those boots.
that Koldak has employment opportunities going forward. You know, it's not just like you get brought in at the ground level and then that's it for you. You can like really advance in the system there. You know, you can go from just like a carrier to like a beast, and then maybe one day you can be a troll, a monstrosity.
Yeah, you could be something great.
That is a fair point. I would like to pitch an argument for Ret Talus, and that is that with Ret Talus, you still get to you have second chances. You can come back after you get knocked down. He will bring you back. He will raise his arm out to you and pull you back up after you make a mistake. Cooldeck may be the best for like the top 1%, the real go-getters. But if you're just like trying to have a nice life with a family, work a 9 to 5, you're going to demand way too much of you in the Fungal Dwarfs. You need the consistency, the reliability, and the healing power and the team spirit that Red Talus offers.
That's right. You always know that another zombie has your back, literally, when you are fighting for Red Talus.
We have no move from Eldritch Noodles here. He just started packing the Drake. You gotta wonder if he's trying to include it in the game plan.
Honestly,
is he taking the damage?
Drake's not bad in this matchup just because carrier congas get fried, but
yeah, I mean, it has more health than Mal, right? So I mean, you can treat it as your summoner to like an extent.
I know it does. I noted in my practical value metric that the Drake is balanced on paper if your opponent lines up their units, but nobody does that against the Drake. However, it does tend to happen in certain matchups. There are matchups where units are just going to be clumped together.
Like this one.
Yep.
With the carriers.
Exactly. So it's got to be a consideration.
Eldritch Noodles, like, you will come to me. You will. I'm not moving.
I'm not moving.
Yep. That's great.
Cards.
That's such a stubborn turn, but I agree with it.
Just attack once with the Guardian and just stay there. Does he have a blinding flare?
Look at the expression on Maldaria's face. You could just see her wagging her finger going, no, come here. Come get me.
He doesn't have a second blinding flare. And I really think, knowing what's in Aaron's hand, knowing what he might be able to pull off, I think it could be over, right? If you drop...
Yeah.
That's a purge?
Yeah, I would assume that he's got a Hellfire Cultist purge coming in on the right side, and then he's gonna zip that stop with archers.
You'll get an archer purge in, and then you'll get a Hellfire archer to also walk in, and oh no. Oh, and the warrior. I didn't even think about the warrior. Yeah. Oh, I think we know how this goes.
The carrier comes in. Oh, both of them hit the Guardian. You purge all your own units. And
I kind of wondered if this was
7.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if this was coming as soon as the flare was gone. Although it looks like it doesn't even need the flare.
Oh, the archer can zoom in. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Soul Shift.
He still needs.
That's a weird.
He needs
quirk.
to use his third movement to get the other archer up within Soul Shift range of that archer. He's gonna press undo a bunch of times.
No, he's gonna use the warrior instead of the archer. He's gonna walk the warrior over for a 7 attack warrior.
Okay. Oh my goodness, he is going to do that. Yeah, it's over. I mean, there are spaghetti dice.
True, but with
he has a Hellforged weapon in hand too. It's gonna be 9. 9 against 3.
Okay.
There it is.
Wow.
Here we go. The dice are shrunk, and 8 of them connect.
Looks like he went and he got her.
Good game.
He took the invitation.
GG.
I guess you got to be careful when you're fighting the Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, so I'll say, okay, she advanced with Blinding Flare, that was fine, but then she really did need to retreat because she had the economic advantage, and that was the only way that Aaron was going to win that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna send him. Send him the invite to get him in here. That was a blitz.
That was a glorious turn.
Definitely.
Glorious final turn.
And then I think that I can
very
do.
Fun.
What do I want to do here?
The call before the storm of just sticking pat and hitting the wall for 1 damage, and then the massive wombo combo that Aaron brought out with.
Yeah, and you could see the Fallen Warrior's happy feet as he stomped on over to Maldaria with 9
See, this is what I'm
melee.
talking about. You get rewarded for your efforts. You're not decaying. You're not being demanded. You don't lose life as turns go on when you're with the Fallen Kingdom. You gain boost. You're boosted up.
All right, Ryan. So why isn't the Fallen Warrior on the poster, huh? Why isn't he on the recruitment poster? I'll tell you why. Because he died. The Hellforged Blade killed him before they could take his photo.
Damn. Well, that's what Raise the Dead is for.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Hello.
basically Rhett Talus's motto is "We never knew your name, but you'll never be forgotten."
Hey, Aaron.
Congrats, GG.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Aaron. What an epic final turn there.
Very
Thank
nice
you.
finish.
I was a bit worried, but
Yeah. He was winning the eco war.
oh, for sure, he was crushing me, Eco.
So I have to wonder, Aaron, usually, like the tendency with Fallen Kingdom players is to sort of curate their hand over a number of turns until they get the right hand for such a situation. Did that hand fall into your lap, or were you curating it?
I kind of just had to burn a lot of my hand because I don't know how much of my hands you guys saw, but at one point I had 5 events that I drew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
full
I
flood.
kept
Was that
2
like at the
events.
start?
I kept a Hellforged weapon and I kept a blood summon. And then I drew both pyres and I drew a purge. And I just had 5 events. And I didn't have any units. And then the next turn I pitched a blood summon and I used a pyre. And then I drew Dragos and I think a archer. So I was still like hurting for units. I didn't draw 2 units I could use.
Mm-hmm.
So I pitched Dragos too. I said, we're just going to try and win this quick because there's no way I'm winning this econ.
Yeah, we calculated an 11 magic advantage at one point.
Yep. I saw that 9 that he had, and I was like, "Jeez."
He
And he
had the
17 in
fire
his
drake.
deck to your 12.
In hand?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had the
'cause you
fire
were
drake
able
in
to
hand.
see.
He was pitching that last turn. He's gonna like, well, I guess I'm gonna spend fire drake, but that staying on the front there, I think, left him open to the purge turn.
Yeah.
It
I
was
thought
a
he was
beautiful.
open in the flare turn, but that's why flare exists, like could have potentially protected him.
It was a beautiful purge turn, Aaron, and I'm not surprised because, I'm not surprised you saw it right away. Like, as soon as the turn went to you, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna summon an archer because I have the purge turn. It's right in front of me.
As soon as he didn't summon units, I said, I won this game. This game's over.
Yeah.
I was sitting on purge and a cultist and a warrior and a hellforged weapon. I said, I had 2 archers I could potentially have on the field. I said, that's over. That's game over.
You built your own shonk, but better too. Even if he played blinding flare, right?
Yeah.
Donk, but he can
a
see
9-attack
clearly.
And doing the math on Massimo's website, swzone.com, rolling 9 dice has a 62.5% chance of getting 3 specials or better.
Yeah,
it's not terrible.
It's odds in your favor, more likely than not to get the 3 the 3 electrics, and that's because electric is 1 out of every 3 faces on it. So in 3 dice, you should get 1 electric, in 6 2, and in 9 3.
When you're rolling 3 dice and when you're rolling 9 dice and trying to get 3 swords, it just spits out 100%. Like it ran 10,000 simulations, not a single one you missed.
Yeah.
Eldritch,
hello.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Wonderful game.
Hi.
We put you in the hot seat. How you
Yeah,
feeling?
I know. I feel I did exactly what I told myself not to do, which is never get baited as Phoenix Elves and go forward. But I was like, I'm going for it. I got the dragon. I'm going for it. And then of course, you get the purge turn. I was like, yep, that's what
This is the one matchup where you do not go forward. Actually, it's one of 2 matchups. The other one is Ava. Phoenix Elves do not go forward against Ava. Well, I guess they can.
Yeah, but I mean, you have 30 minutes on the clock, and you think, let's go for it.
Which is a question that I always like asking.
It was fun.
both Aaron and Eldritch, how many like 45-minute games have you played before this? Is it? I mean, like maybe
That was
live
it.
matches.
Besides like in-person matches, that was my first 45-minute game.
Yeah,
I've never.
I did the game against Orange Lazarus, and that's it. I played
just-
some
Wow.
like live-ish games, but not with actual timer.
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost clicked when I was setting the game up. I almost clicked 3 days on accident because I'm just so used to clicking 3 days.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I gotta switch that.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it was an absolutely gross purge turn. I think even if you hadn't have had like the wild Hellforge turn, right? I think he ended up throwing 9 damage through the purge and 9 dice
Yeah,
warrior in the end there.
It was not the right move, but I wanted to make it exciting. I wanted to go and do something.
Yeah, he actually dealt a
Um,
total. He dealt a total of 10 damage that turn to you. So it turns out the previous whiff did not matter at all. That was just straight up
yeah.
nuked. Yeah, because 2
Yeah.
damage from purge and 8 damage from melee. So that was a straight up nuked Maldaria.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why you don't taunt Fallen Kingdom, Maldaria.
I thought I was screwed though because Eldritch, I drew at one point 5 events.
Oh yeah, I had a
on 5 events.
yeah. I drew something bad second turn. I think I sent it to the chat. Let me see. Yeah, it's tough. It's like Phoenix Elves really just want to dig in, and I don't know. I wasn't. That's not the game I wanted to play on like a live Twitch stream. So
I also gave you some tough choices because I really
pulling
pulled back.
That was great. Yeah, that I was. I mean, I there's a couple turns when I was like, the right move is probably just to pass turn and take the damage, but I just didn't go for it. It's hard, right? Especially if taking that damage early, I was like, it's a little dangerous.
Yeah, because you only
Yeah.
have 5 health left.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had like gone for
Should've
retreating Maldaria, taken the damage, then played the Drake later, you could have just fired off at his gates with the Drake and dared him to come to you. But I don't know.
Yeah, the turns where he pulled back, I just needed a range unit, and I just didn't draw any. Yeah, I was just in this position where I was like, oh, I feel like that always happens to me when I play Phoenix Elves. Is I just like they just have weird draws. Like they don't. That's part of why they're kind of bad. Is they're like they're so synergistic with their cards that it's tough for them to like. Yeah, they have just you get really weird draws. Like you're like, oh, I'm gonna discard this card and build up magic, and you're like, oh, now I needed those cards I discarded. Yeah.
And I was okay with you like throwing down one of like an Ember Mage or a Archer and pushing up to attack one of my units that was in the back row.
I just didn't want to lose the carriers. That's my biggest pet peeve in this game. So that was I just didn't want to lose the carriers.
Yeah, I hate carriers with a passion too.
Yeah.
But if you had moved back, I saw for a second that you had moved back to just a couple, like a space back from where you ended up being. And if you had left it there, I'm pretty sure I could still have gotten a decent chance at killing you.
So if I didn't, my only move would have been to step back and take a damage and like step back and then like phalanx up a bit. And then it wouldn't have changed too much. I consider just completely pulling back and taking the damage, but I don't know. Yeah, it was the turn before I needed to just say, like, play for the Drake, like discard a bunch of cards and get the magic, because I had a 9 magic turn but no Drake in hand, and that's the kind of thing that's kind of hard to do when you're on the clock, is to to think through that kind of move.
Yeah. That is a little
on
hard.
one of the turns, I didn't mean to be as far back as I was, but I had forgotten you played Spirit of the Phoenix at the beginning of the turn, and I went to attack.
No, that worked very
and
well.
You had Divine Ret, and I was like, oh, I'll just get a carrier when I take 1 damage, and then I took 2 damage, and I was like, huh.
If I had any range unit in my hand after that, I would have been in a fine situation, just like pinged at your gate. But I tempted myself into going forward, and it didn't work out, as we see.
Hey, but that's the fun. That's the fun of the 45.
Yeah, I know.
Game.
I know, totally.
I really appreciate both of you guys coming on to play tonight. I think it was awesome.
Yeah.
Generally in this
It was-
matchup, even when we
it was
have
very
like
fun.
3 days clock, it's no easy walk for Maldaria, right?
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
I feel like it came out pretty close when we did this in the league, right? But I feel like
Yeah, Moldaria had a
Fallen Kingdom kind of just
52% win
jam
rate.
carriers, and
Moldaria
Moldaria
was-
has to like think all day.
Yeah, Maldaria was surprisingly close in this. I initially thought that Maldaria stood no chance in this matchup, but she can kind of hold
I
her
think
own.
she's not favored. I think
She
I
came
think
out
we
ahead
reran
in the
it.
league.
Yeah, I feel like we reran it. That would be
I think it's pretty
not
close.
happen all the
different.
time. It's definitely not a like a all in for Fallen Kingdom, but it definitely. I played this matchup a number of times, and it always feels hard because even if you pull to the end, which the Phoenix Cells want to do, you just get eaten by carriers, and your units are so low health.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like they have the tools to kill all the carriers when it happens, but not infinite tools.
I mean, to
The
piggyback
Phoenix
off
Cells
what
were stronger early. Go ahead.
I think to piggyback off what you said earlier, Eldritch, right? Like, I love Phoenix Elves. They feel just like a little bit like they have the tools to win like pretty much any matchup.
Yeah.
But like they're just a little bit behind.
Almost any matchup.
Okay, we don't
There's
talk about
that
the
one.
PD matchup, okay?
Ooh.
there's
I have-
that one.
I have Phoenix Elves a step below Tundra Orcs and Fallen Kingdom on the tier list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically
Yeah, I used to
because
think
of
they were
that
good.
Polar Dwarfs matchup.
Yep.
I used to think they
Same.
were the second best.
No,
I
they've
thought
really dropped a
because
lot in
their
my,
win
in my
rate-
mind.
Yeah, it's
Their
crazy.
win rate was
What
so high at the
happened?
start.
Phoenix Elves were when they first came out, people thought of them as the elite. People thought of them as really good. They're the optimal. They do the direct damage. No more having to deal with dice rolls when you can guarantee damage. This is the future. All the top players are going to be mastering this faction. And then like just slowly, bit by bit, their fingers started
Yeah, I don't
slipping
know.
on the rungs.
And I think right
I'm
now
not an
they're
expert
all
at
the way
Phoenix
down.
Elves. Like, are there any top players who are like good, like Phoenix, like play them a bunch?
Oh, there are a
'Cause
ton of top players who love Phoenix Elves. Yeah.
Not Phoenix Elves just like that's their jam. Like I can't think of anyone who it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they've really slipped down the kind of like.
They're in the top half of popularity
Yeah.
on the website.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of fun to play, but I don't really think they're that good. Like Fallen Kingdom's win rates are bad, but people love playing them.
That's because
Yeah.
the combos.
yeah.
The combos are fun.
Yeah.
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 I think Maldaria really needed to get 10 health again. I know in
Yeah.
playtesting, from what I was told, she was like tuned down to 9, but I think she needed to go back up to 10.
If we
One
ever get that
HP
master
is like
set
a
errata.
huge boost. It's like
Yeah.
a really big boost on win rate. So I don't know. Like they're like a little bit under average. I don't know if they're like 1 HP,
Yeah, 9
especially when
just
you got all
feels
the
cruel
keep pulling back.
because
It does.
It feels like a best on her, and she doesn't. I know Ava doesn't have 4 AP, but still.
I think it's her
I-
units. I think not really her HP. It's her. She's no zero costs, and her units are like high costs but don't do a lot.
Let Ember Mage be a 2/3. Just do it. Do it, you cowards. Let Ember
Yeah,
Mage
something
be a
like
2/3.
that.
Ember Mage had a lot of problems in playtesting.
Yeah,
Ember
I'll
Mage
bet.
is zero cost or something.
What was it?
or,
What was it like
Yeah.
in playtesting?
I don't know how much I can actually say.
Yeah,
That's
we
a
won't
fair
pressure
point.
you.
Yeah. But there was a couple different abilities where in playtesting, Ember Mage, not the ability it has in now, but it had a different ability to start. And when paired with Vanguards, it actually made them maybe the strongest faction in the game. So like people would just use it with Vanguards and you just couldn't kill them. They just had this fortress of like impenetrableness. It was just terrible. But
Yeah, it's no fun.
For me,
The
Guarded
thing-
on paper
Vanguard-
is incredible, right? Like it's
Oh,
such
yeah.
a good ability, but like on a 2 health, it's so easy to
Yeah.
either put 2 attacks or get like the 1 damage on it, and then Guarded doesn't even matter, and that feels so bad.
You know what
Yeah.
really feels bad about Guarded though? When somebody whiffs their first attack against the Ember Mage and you're like, yes, and then you're like, oh wait, because you realize that the second
Second attack.
attack just does 2 damage anyway and you die. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's not a fun unit. I don't. Yeah, I would just. There's a
I
lot
was-
of ways it
I
could
was-
go. That'd be.
I was watching Watered's tier list today, and the amount of rage that was directed at Ember Mage was palpable.
Water and I do not agree on this at all. We fought a lot during playtesting about this because I don't think Ember Mages are like a top tier unit by any means, but he thinks they're almost unplayable. And I
Well,
think they're viable. Like, I think they are a decent unit. I don't
Okay.
even think they're the worst unit in the game.
So
I
I
don't-
think
I
Ember
agree with
Mages are
Waterdeep.
good if you're going on the offense. So it's like this. Phoenix Elves on the defense are going to play all their Royal Guardians, and on the offense all their Ember Mages, and they're not
The
going
thing
to play
with-
the other of those units.
I think
The thing
that's
with
I think
Phoenix
that's
Elves on the
wrong, though.
offense is you just kind of need the right like it's so hard to like you really have to fall into the right situation to go on offense with Phoenix Elves.
I
Like,
know.
you need all the right cards at the right time, and you can't really like engineer the right hand and while going on
Yep.
the offense, so it's hard.
For
Yeah,
me,
Phoenix Elves on aggro feels like Vanguards on aggro. The stars have to line up.
Yeah.
For me,
well,
the Ember Mage makes more sense because someone pointed out it's like, yeah, but think like, what is Ember Mage really good against? Tundra Orcs, right? Tundra Orcs, Phoenix Elves
Yeah.
is the starter set.
Yeah,
That's going to be a
totally.
phenomenal game experience because Ember Mage does exactly what you want to in that matchup.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
fair
against
point.
everything else.
yeah. So I agree with Waterdeep on most of his like evaluations. I just think it's okay. There's situational units like Ember Mages, but for a common, they're maybe a little too situational, but they're fine. Like they come up and then they're great when they're good.
Yeah.
I
I
like
think
them.
Ember Mages can be really good defensively though too, because if you give them that's the only unit they can attack, and they have to attack it only from range at one angle, that's a terrible turn. Like I've
Yeah.
had some very frustrating games against Snaug where he just gives you no good options with Phoenix, and he just sits in like a
Which
side that you
faction
can't
was he
get
playing again? Oh yeah, doesn't matter. That just describes Alg in a nutshell.
Yeah, he's very good at making you have terrible options on your turn, but
Yeah.
he does it even better with the Phoenix Elves because he can pull a unit back to exactly where he wants it to be.
But see, that's the problem with them. They're either like no way they come out are they that much fun, right? They're either terrible or really infuriating for your opponents. So that's my problem. Not so much the power level, so much as
They're an intrinsically bad concept for a unit.
They feel good with
The
Holios,
tragedy
though.
of defense.
It's a cool
Holios likes
concept.
them.
I like the concept
Yeah.
because they get to be islands for Ember Beast, stuff like that. And when you have nothing
Yes.
else to summon, you sure appreciate
Ember Beast is the
something.
unit that should be stronger. That's my hot take.
Oh,
Beast.
Ember Beast is their strongest unit.
Yeah, Ember Beast is their best
Yeah, but they don't
unit,
have great
not by a
units.
small margin either.
Defend yourself.
No, because lots of factions have like OP units.
Yep.
Right. I'm not
Yeah.
saying just like add another attack onto it or something, but Phoenix Elves they need something punchy or something, and they don't really have a lot of health on their units, and they gotta like the Guardian, like they're defensive faction with low health, and that's kind of always what kind of
I agree.
throws me
I
up with them
totally
a lot.
agree, Eldritch.
Right.
Yeah.
They need something like a 3/4 that can just like sit and tank. And
Yeah.
Guardian isn't quite that. Like Guardian really has to be comboed up with hitting with Moldaria, and like you really need the kind of right situations for it to work.
I think
Yeah.
if you
Like it should be like hit
Well,
one
the Dex
adjacent unit for
engine
one damage.
is all about Moldaria, so that comes
Yeah.
back to her having 9 health.
Yeah.
the small
like-
change I would make though is I would just give Maul's ability like if you allow it to work on structures also.
Yeah,
it
that would
gives
be
her
huge.
more.
That would
That
be
would
enough.
fix.
That's a
That-
good one.
Because there,
That would be
it's a-
enough.
I think that would be
Yeah.
enough. Like one help is a lot, but that would make a big
And-
difference.
And add that she can, for goodness sakes, that she can use it multiple times at the end of the attack phase, so that she can store up call protections.
No. That I disagree
No.
with.
Like if
That would
she
be
stores
cool.
up, if she stores up 3 boosts, then she can move forward and she can summon the units around her. It would allow
No,
her to make an
Grog
advance.
should have that. Rognak should be able to store multiple boosts. Daria can already store
Can he
multiple.
not?
I mean, pulling 2 back would be.
Grog
good,
storing boosts with his ability would be
Grog
great.
can store. He
Only
just
if-
He can
can't
store only from-
get
from
more
rag-
when he moves,
Yeah,
just
like-
unless he's empty.
Yeah,
His restore ability should be changed to store.
Yeah, yeah.
I have something that I've been thinking about. I'd love to hear your guys' like takes on it. My other thing is that like I feel like Phoenix Elves is one of the fairest factions, right? They have like a very like basic game
Yes.
plan. They
Yeah,
don't
but
have
that means bad, right? Like fair in a game where everyone does unfair things.
in a game where
Yeah.
everyone does unfair things, right? And I think
Yeah,
part of the problem
yeah.
is the only unfair part of Phoenix Elves is pretty much defensive tricks, blinding
pullback,
flare
right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
engage.
The
and,
blinding flare, like you can just kind of pass your turn off it, and it doesn't do much. Like blinding flare really is really hard to make it work well, and it's a one magic event.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to ignore the unfair parts, right? No one else gets to do that because they have like unfair tricks in other phases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good.
I feel like burn is pretty unfair. They could do some neat things with burn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tundra Orcs are more fair, and they
burn is.
are higher
I wouldn't say
tier.
burn is unfair. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
Tundra
super
Orcs
useful.
are fantastic. They've got real things they could do, and also freeze
Look at
isn't fair in the
Smashers.
right situation. Yeah,
This might be a
Smashers.
hot
That's fair.
take, but I say Tundra are worse than Phoenix.
No.
Disagree.
On a
I
negative
That's a very hot take.
experience front.
Disagree.
I gotta double
Yeah.
check my rankings, but I'm pretty sure I have them below. Pretty sure Tundra are my.
I think Tundra are probably fourth best currently. Let's see.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Those
they've
are
really gone up
wild.
Feeling
ranking
is
a
way
bunch.
higher.
It is.
So the thing
It's
with
so high.
Tundra Orcs,
I
is they can-
misspoke. I have them slightly above Phoenix. I have them third lowest.
Okay.
That's fair.
Where did you put Phoenix Elves?
They're
That's
second lowest.
So
I
only
have
above
Phoenix Elves second
Vanguards?
lowest.
Yeah. I mean, who
I have
else are you
Phoenix
gonna
Elves
Yeah.
put?
too.
So Fallen Kingdom has a really bad win rate, but I don't know how much that is power level versus they're hard to play. But yeah.
So Aaron, yeah,
Fallen
I
Kingdom
would
shouldn't
mention
have a low win rate as low win rate as they do. I think Fallen
Maybe.
Kingdom tempts people into thinking, yeah, I could just like cheese my way into a victory, and oftentimes you can. But then there are the
they're
matchups
just so
where
high
you can't.
variance. They're really high variance, so it's hard to tell.
They are really
right?
high variance.
I was gonna say, yeah, Aaron. So we all know you love Fallen Kingdom, right? And I love
Yep.
Fallen Kingdom too. They like the counterpoint is that TO essentially never has a bad draw, right? And that's one of the
Yes.
best parts about Tundra Orcs is like no matter what I always feel like I'm playing a game with Tundra Orcs,
Yep.
no matter what I get.
Yeah,
that's because
Grog
they
is
can
a
pitch everything.
consistency machine. Like I was playing a game just the other day as TO, and like I kept whiffing so many rolls, and every time I would re-roll them, I would get the exact roll I needed, and I would just say consistency machine, Grog, and I just imagined to myself there's this colossal game board where Grog is sitting there on the other side of the table, and every time he gets the roll that he hates, he goes, Grog angry! And the other person's like, that's the game, dude. Sometimes you roll bad dice, and Grog's like, I tear off your limbs! Okay, fine, I'll let you re-roll those dice. And that's influence ability. And that's like, oh my gosh, that's me in a nutshell. That's how I play games. Grog and I are soulmates.
Ian, you
So I
tear
think-
people's
really do
limbs
that,
off?
but like that's what I want to do, right?
So I think the reason that Phoenix Elves have gone down in the general ranking is because they're really good on the defense, and I think people just realize now just to kind of ignore them and let them, right, and just kind of let them burn out, or pun intended.
Fires eventually burn out.
Yeah, and once you know how to play around them, they get a lot weaker, right? Like if you can really dig yourself in, the opponent's like, oh, I gotta get to Valdaria. She's only got 5 health left. Like, she does great, but as
That's
soon
where
as
they
one
wanna be.
realizes I
Yep.
can back off exactly, right? And so yeah.
Yeah.
Grog,
it's-
my
Yeah.
so my
This
big
is
reason
why
why
I think the development of the PE meta is that the PE player
Yes.
is going to, after they see the opponent back off, they're going to realize they need to plunge forward because Maldaria does really well in tight spaces.
Yeah.
Where the
that was my
opponent
hope,
doesn't have room
and then
to
I just
maneuver.
got purged to death, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're vulnerable to flanks then.
Yeah.
I think the real distinguishing factor that puts, for me, Grognak 7th on the tier list and Maldaria 9th, with Retalis in the middle of them, is the
Smashers.
matchup against Polar Dwarfs.
Yeah, that's
Grognak
fair.
has a close, not a winning, not an even, but close to even matchup against Polar Dwarfs. Maldaria gets absolutely steamrolled by her.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
surprised a
huge.
bunch of people because nobody thought it was going to be that bad, and then we did that league matchup,
Yeah.
and everybody was
They're
like,
both
this,
defensive.
this is horrendous. Like,
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
defensive decks, and Polar Dwarves just crush them, right? Because they're just
Everything
better
better.
at what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do other stuff and they do defensive better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fire has never lost so hard to ice.
Yeah. The big thing with Tundra Orcs is they can make value while attacking, and like almost no other decks can do that, right? They can push while not sacrificing value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Tundra Orcs for
Because
me,
they can pull back if they get hurt, and then they can just play the value game.
they
Yep.
feel either like super strong or terribly weak. Because either you're very, very oppressive with Tundra Orcs, or you're kind of just getting shut down, or Grog takes a lot of damage real early, and then you just have
No,
to
that's
pull
fine.
back.
Yeah,
It's fine if
that's
Grog
why they're
takes
good.
damage
Is they
early.
can do that.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
absorbs value early, and then he can
It's just
literally just
value.
retreat into a dark corner, and his minions will do everything for him.
I
So-
never
so
see
the-
them win econ though, ever.
Oh, I do it all the
Except
time.
unless they're playing like against like
So the
I
trick
don't
is
know,
just
man.
play
You must have
all
horrible
smashers.
rolls then, because
Just don't discard any smashers or any shamans, and
Yeah.
then discard all your other cards.
Those-
right? Play every
Yep.
champion.
Those two
That's
are
serious.
key.
You play all your 3 champions, and you play half your commons, and every other card you just say, "I'm going to discard it unless I need it," and
No
that's how they
events.
play.
I actually discard all my chargers. I do play the Tundra Fighters because I like to do the Ragnar
have good dice
boost
luck.
abuse thing. I
Yeah.
do. I do. I had this one time during I can talk about Koldak now because it's on spoilers. I had this one time where I had put down a forward gate, set a frenzy, a Tundra Fighter behind Koldak, and he started off with a regular dice roll. I had Ragnar and I had 3 boosts on Grog, and I was like, it's gonna be a good frenzy turn. So he doesn't get the frenzy. I re-roll, Grog angry, gets the frenzy, he moves to the next unit, hits the unit, gets the electric, moves back and forth between several different units. He wiped the board and put Koldak down to like 5 health. And I was like, yeah, that was a good frenzy
Wow.
turn.
We all dream about the Infinity Fighter. It's
Yeah.
such
We
a great
do.
on paper.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of my fondest memories is playing that game at like 12 years old in first edition, and we named the like starting fighter Steve just as a kick, me and my friend Josh, and Steve proceeded to like one shot Mook, the second best champion in all of first edition, and then take the summoner down to 1 health purely out of rage.
It's absolutely wild. Okay, well, I think we could talk about Summoner Wars all night.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eldritch and Aaron, I
Been fun.
thank you so much for coming on the Showdown. We'll hope to have you back soon.
Right.
Ryan and Ian, thank you so much for co-hosting. We're going to
Of course.
wrap it up here now. Any last words from anybody?
Thanks for having us. It's a
If
great
you're
game.
Thanks for having us. That
Yeah.
was fun. Thanks for organizing this and doing all your Twitch stream.
Yeah, thank you.
and for new players wondering who the heck Koldak is, stay tuned, because that will be one of the next factions come out if you like this game and want to get it in physical or digital version.
Yeah.
That's not a paid advertisement. We're just really, really happy that this game exists.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
please
we are.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the game so they keep publishing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
don't got it.
No, seriously. We want all 66.
Yeah, we need to so here's what people need to do. We need to people who are on Twitter need to tweet at Plaid Hat and get them like if we could do a real-time mode and like a good viewing, like letting people
Good peanut
watch
gallery.
and see hands. Yeah, like
Ooh,
this we to make this better for Twitch, like if they really want to get some viral attention, there needs to be a better real-time mode and a better way to see the hands.
It needs to have better spectatorship because spectatorship is where this is going to pull in more players.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys check out this VOD because I tried my hand at it. Thank you so much for posting your hands, and I throw them up in like the sides. I'm really curious to see what how people feel about that. So,
All right. Thanks.
Yes.
Right.
yeah. Thank you all for your time.
Bye, everyone.
have a great
Yeah.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Do, do.
Have a good night.
Yeah. God bless y'all.
God bless. See ya.
See ya.
And thank you, wonderful viewers. This has been the second Summoner Showdown. Keep posted for next week. I'm trying to get some Germans on board. So we're gonna see how that's gonna go. See you next time.